Hello sir, this is 𝘱𝘢𝘭 𝘋𝘰𝘶 from Event Planning and Execution Committee, and we are so much honored to have you here with us. We are grateful that you have spared your precious time and decided to do this special interview on the occasion of 77th Independence Day celebrations. All of us are proud of your immaculate feats and unparalleled contribution to the services that you have provided to our great nation. So, Bijay Nair sir is a passionate runner and a commissioned naval officer from Naval Academy, 𝘕𝘂𝘶, and served 10 years in the Indian Navy. And also, he has been part of Operation Talwar in 1999, also known as Kargil War, and is decorated with Ops Vijay Star and Vijay Medal. In 2003 and 4, he was awarded commendation by the Flag Officer of Western Naval Command, and 2006, he was awarded the prestigious Chief of Naval Staff commendation. Currently, he serves as an Associate Vice President, and he works with the Naval National Ship Classification Society. So, welcome, sir, on this very special occasion of Independence Day celebrations as a chief guest. Now, I would like to hand over to 𝘱𝘢𝘭 𝘋𝘰𝘶 for the interview.
Yes, thank you, Athena. So, very good afternoon to you, sir. Hope you're doing great today. And with your permission, let's just dive straight into the questions.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks Athar for introducing me and following it up with me. So glad to be here. Otherwise, on a very hectic schedule. Thanks for pestering me and being after me. I always love to be amongst youngsters. Unfortunately, these days, a lot of travel. I
Yes,
keep traveling a lot. My work demands a lot of travel across. So otherwise, whenever opportunity permits, I was at Pune a couple of days back. I had a session in Pune, uh, a good session. A lot of people had come. Friday evening, rather late evening.
okay.
So as you introduced me, so Army, Navy, Air Force doesn't matter. Since you said Army, my heart is always with Army and Air Force. So I'm a naval officer. So yes, Operation Talwar is one of the when we say Kargil War, as later when Athar will ask me questions, I would enlighten all of you on why Kargil War is not a Kargil War. It is actually Operation Vijay, and students like you, people like you are the medium who will give awareness to all of us, saying that Kargil War was a bigger platform.
Hmm.
It was not only limited to Kargil. So we can take some questions. I would choose not to answer a few questions because of the guidelines from the ministry to all the veterans
Yes,
on
sir.
certain things not to
Of course.
discuss. So
Yes.
yeah, otherwise fine. We can
Okay, sir.
leave
No.
that.
Okay, sir. So, should we proceed with your permission?
Sure.
Okay. So, starting off with your personal life, can you share some pivotal experiences or influences from your early life that inspired you or motivated you to pursue a career into the Indian Navy?
Uh, so yes, Navy was never my first choice, to be very frank. Uh, so I'm a hardcore Mumbaiker, born and brought up in Mumbai. So Mumbai of those days. I'm talking about 80s. I'm a 76 born
Hmm.
person, and predominantly my grown-up days are in 80s and 90s. When someone grow into the teens and things like that, where a lot of ambitions happens that year. So during our time when we were growing up, armed forces was never a choice, never a choice, because for every family, a lower middle class family, I predominantly was lot of my. I speak Marathi because lot of my neighbors. I grew up in a Marathi colony. I grew up in a colony which was more of cosmopolitan. And as we say in Marathi, आमच्या इथे ते प्रथा नव्हती.
Hmm.
आर्म फोर्सेसला जॉईन करायची ती प्रथा नव्हती. लाईक एनी पेरेंट्स, दी फर्स्ट चॉईस म्हणजे इंजिनियर व्हायचं नाहीतर डॉक्टर. अजून पण तेच आहे. Lot of our parents, the first thing, and you can imagine those days, it was actually only choice was being a doctor, being an engineer, or a professor. Armed forces was never a career.
Hmm.
The sad part was because we were not aware. अजून पण लोक अवेअर नाही आहेत ते क्या बाबतीत करियर काय आहे आर्म फोर्सेस मध्ये, नोबडी इज अवेअर, राईट? So that was the setback which we had. But thanks to social media, thanks to social media is a big advent. Let me frankly tell you, it has its own perils, it has its own drawbacks. But if we use it positively, that is how we are connected. We never met, we never saw each other. Probably the first time we are seeing each other.
Yes.
However, when you connected me on WhatsApp and Instagram, the connect is instant. That is the power of social media. And thanks to social media, people are aware of the armed forces, career in armed forces, the sacrifices in the armed forces, the family, the stories, everything. Okay. So coming back to that question, my first choice was army, because when I was growing up, so I grew up in a chawl in Mumbai. Chawl manje, it's a slum. To be in a polished English language म्हणजे slum, आणि मराठीत आम्ही ते म्हणायचं ना, चॉल म्हणजे गिरणी कामगार जिथे राहायचं तिकडे, त्या होतात साल. But in English they use a term called slum. So nevertheless, no worries. I'm always proud to be a gully boy and a chawl kid. And there the story begins. And like, frankly speaking, my father was a taxi driver, and it was really tough growing up. Uh, my uncle was a gangster, so a very known gangster of those days. He was encountered when he was 37, and he was very close to me. I was very close to him because being the eldest. So my first choice of career was always to be a gangster. I never wanted to join army, navy, air force, and the love with guns. I've seen guns and all very closely. So those block made. So I always wanted to be playing with guns. And incidentally, it happened in a good way after joining the forces. I could see guns, AK-47 or MMGs or LMGs, all those things. It happened in a good way. So I believe that there is a God, there is a superpower who sees that and who makes your ambitions true. When you visualize with something, only visualization happened was I saw it with a positive aspect. That's why I wore the uniform. So of course, the first choice was in a serial called 𝘱𝘰 by Shah Rukh Khan. Those days, एक serial आती थी. You can Google it. That was the biggest motivation for my generation to join the armed forces, because that showcased the life in army, the life in academy, the lifestyle, and all those things. But yes, if I look back to that serial, I would find a lot of flaws in it. Shah Rukh बाल बड़े थे and all. Army Navy Air Force doesn't allow you that, right? But the influence of TV, influence of media, movie as a whole, is a big thing in our life. Almost 140 crore population, we are influenced by movies and media, because that's the 3 R when all of us, irrespective of our status, भले हम रोड पे सोते हो या भले अंबानी के बंगले में रहेंगे, all of us laugh, all of us smile, all of us cry with that emotion. So media, movie is a big emotion in our country, and that's how Shah Rukh played a very pivotal role in our life. The way today's generation see Uri or Sher Shah as a motivation, we saw in that. So yeah, so first choice was army always, until I stay very close to a naval colony. मुंबईमध्ये एक जागा आहे कांजूरमार्ग म्हणून, तिकडे तरी नेव्हल कॉलनी, नेव्हल सिव्हिलियन कॉलनी. अँड आमची जे चॉल होती ते तिकडे त्याच्या बाजूला एक कॉलनी होता. खूप तिकडे नगर्स असतात. एक नगरमध्ये मी पण राहत असतो, आणि ते शेजारच्या कॉलनीमध्ये होतात, नेव्हल कॉलनी. अँड like any other kid, we used to trespass inside, and we used to play on their ground and all, cricket and all. And one day, those incident, lot of interviews have said this. I was caught along with other friends, and there was a naval officer who got down off a gypsy, and that was the first time I saw a naval officer very closely, with all the. So Navy, the uniform is the best. I may sound very partial to Navy, but compared to the Army, and Air Force, it's white and it has its own charm. Probably that was the first thing which attracted me towards Navy. And then in subsequent 2 SSBs I gave after 12th and after engineering, that was the first thing they asked me, why did you want to join Navy? And At both occasion I have said my love for uniform, and then the story. He asked you so many. So that's how I got to know about Navy very closely, and then of course then the research began on how to join the Army Navy. Those days, schools and all was not at all aware of Navy, Army, Air Force as a career. So school and all, nobody used to teach us. So I was I come from a very small school, small English medium school, where the awareness for this was very, very less. So I was blessed, lucky. जे म्हणतात ना एक सुपर पॉवर आहे, म्हणूनच मी म्हणतो की सुपर पॉवर आहे. That day we met a naval officer. Somebody's chacha turned out to be a naval officer pretty accidentally. We were not knowing that he's a naval officer.
Okay.
That's how he guided us, and then I went on to give NDA, National Defense Academy exam. I cleared National Defense Academy exams, written. I cleared SSB, but was medically out to the eyes. And I couldn't pursue my dream of joining NDA. Had I joined NDA, my first choice would have been Navy only. So, but it didn't happen that time. Then I came back, I joined, the first choice was engineering because I had decent marks, PCM was decent, and only thing was I wanted to be away from home, because those days everyone took this as a failure. Nobody bothered to check what is actually the selection process. I was medically out, but small places, Chawl and all, people they don't know things and they will say so many things. Okay. But unfortunately, we didn't have money for pursuing my engineering. It was a 4,000 rupees free seat those days and 32,000 payment fee. So imagine I didn't have 4,000 rupees also to pay my fees. So I was sponsored by a trust, an NGO who sponsored my education for 4 years. And as we speak today, I sponsor 5 students every year from last 15 years. As for someone who's good in merit and things like that, who deserves irrespective of. So yeah, so engineering was the first thing which happened. And I always feel that engineers are the most positive lot, because as an engineer we study for 50 marks, believing that we will get 40. That is the attitude we carry. And remember those days in engineering, first year, second year, I had, the moment I had come to know in the question paper कि मुझे 40 मार्क मिल रहा है, मैंने पेपर ही छोड़ दिया आगे का. 100 मार्क अटेम्प्ट भी नहीं किया. 60-70 में जैसे पता चला पास हो रहा है, आगे का पेपर ही छोड़ दिया. But engineering was a disaster always. I had a lot of ATKTs, I had a lot of backlogs. First shock in my life. I never failed till 12th standard, but engineering में पहला semester में ही 5 KT लग गई थी out of 8. It used to be 8 papers. Second semester I had 5 papers again, so I had 10 backlogs going into second year. And Mumbai University is a very beautiful university. They allow you to take all the papers to next year.
Yes.
Till the time you feel you are useless, they will still not allow it to happen. Till the time they feel you are useless, they will throw you out. First 2 years I was literally struggling with engineering, and of course, then third year things happened, and third year something changed for me, and this is what I would tell your audiences, whoever is listening, since most of you are from the engineering college. So it doesn't define, semesters doesn't define you, your marks doesn't define you. You should have a goal. So when I went into third year, in our notice board there was this advertisement, short service tech entry, join the Indian Navy, and the good part was you need to have first class in the last 4 semester.
Okay.
Again, the superpower. As I said, there is a God, so superpower, and that advertisement didn't ask for the first 4 semester. Otherwise, it would have been disaster for me because papers भी ठीक-ठाक नहीं थे. And when I went for 5th semester, so I was having all the backlogs, many backlogs of previous semester. I was literally writing exam every other day. So when the exam season used to happen, like they were already paper of third semester, fourth semester, and you are also given fifth semester. So it was a challenge. You were writing exam other day, but it doesn't matter. To be very frank, if you have a goal, it doesn't matter. That's how you pursue. So my goal was to appear for the SSB, not even join at that time.
Huh.
And fifth semester I scored first class. That was the first thing which happened in life, 61 percentage. And then it was upgraph always. Sixth semester 64, seventh semester 67, eighth semester I topped the college. I was in the first three of
Wow.
the instrumentation and control branch, and in the first 10 in the university in that branch, right? So it's not about, I'm an average student. Let me tell you frankly, I'm an average student. I'm not that super intelligent player. Some people are super intelligent. जिसको एक बार पढ़ने से सब समझ में आता है.
Hmm.
अपने को ऐसे नहीं, अपने को रट्टा मार के like to grease that. But the difference between that is that an average student has to be an hardworking.
Hmm.
An average and anything below that have to be hardworking. That is what. So even today I'm an average individual, but very hardworking. That is what I define myself. And then I got a chance to appear for SSB interview again, and I cleared SSB again. I cleared medical again. Same issue cropped up, but it was a border issue even then.
Okay.
So I got cleared medically, and I was all India rank 4 in the merit. So that was my journey on how uh, career choice, which was a gangster first, then the love for army, and then eventually Navy happened. You know. This was my journey from Chawl in Mumbai suburb, that is Bandu, and to the prestigious Naval Academy. So this was the journey one, the phase one of my journey. That's what the answer, a long answer to your first question.
Definitely, sir. It was quite interesting hearing your answer, really. And sir, talking about of Talwar or the Kargil War, how people know it. So, what are your views? मतलब आप कुछ क्या share करना चाहेंगे of Talwar के बारे में for the audience?
So वही ना, so आप लोग through your medium, through for your understanding also, and whomever you speak to in future from this moment, we all should know that Kargil war is it's like advertisement. Advertisement में अगर हम लोग टूथपेस्ट को क्या बोलते हैं, टूथपेस्ट को जनरली व्हाट डू वी कॉल टूथपेस्ट, क्या बोलते हैं, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग व्हिच कम्स टू योर माइंड?
Colgate.
Colgate, right?
Colgate.
It's Colgate because we have been told from so many years, Colgate. Your toothpaste is Colgate. So first thing is that. बाम को हम जो सिर पे बाम लगाते हैं उसको हम विक्स बोलते हैं. We don't say अमृतांजन, we don't say this. This is the constant thing of how the marketing and the your subconscious mind play when uh, something is always retold to you. So similarly, in 1999, we all know Kargil War. We have been told it is Kargil War, social media, everywhere. But the actual thing is, it was called Operation Vijay. It was called Operation Vijay. Now, why Kargil War happened, you all should know, because in 1999 there is a Shimla Agreement between India and Pakistan. In 1999, if you Google and go back, India was trying to foster friendship between Pakistan. यहाँ से अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी was the Prime Minister of India then. We had a very famous thing called Lahore Bus Convention. Lahore Bus से अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी and very prominent people went to Lahore, Pakistan, to greet and meet, then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif was the Prime Minister of Pakistan. So गले सब मिले and they were भाईचारा, and we thought India Pakistan will be brothers, and imagine a strong cricket team when two countries come together. All those things we all believe, because once upon a time we were a same country, अखंड भारत जिसको बोलते हैं ना.
Yes.
We were strong even in our freedom struggle. If you see, there are a lot of people later who came to be known as Pakistanis. So we were fostering friendship. At the same time, there was General Pervez Musharraf. That time he was not general. Later he became a Prime Minister of Pakistan and things like that. He was cultivating his army to be there. शिमला एग्रीमेंट के तहत क्या होता है कि सितंबर अक्टूबर के टाइम जब बहुत ठंड होती है, पाकिस्तान आर्मी गोज बैक, इंडियन आर्मी कम्स बैक, अनरिटन रूल बिकॉज ऑफ द अनडिस्प्यूटेड जो लैंड है वहाँ पे, नो मैंस लैंड जिसको बोलते हैं. In that year, that is 1998, towards the end of 1998, Pakistan started building up army. और Indians पीछे आ गए यहाँ पे. India believed we are a people, simple people who believe in people, right? And they accumulated the army, their army. वो लोग गए नहीं वहाँ पे. And by the time, first time when it came to know, somewhere in February, March, एक वो shepherds होते हैं ना वहाँ पे, जो shepherds are the eyes and ears in the borderlands, you know, of the Indian army. So they came and they said कि there are suspected people who are moving there. ये लोग फौजी नहीं लग रहे, कोई और यहाँ के लोकल नहीं लग रहे. तो इंडियन आर्मी समवेयर थोड़ा इंटेलिजेंस ड्रॉप हो गया था या फेलियर हो गया था, व्हाटएवर हैपेंड. So Indian Army sent Saurabh Kalia and 5 of his men. Saurabh is my batch equivalent, so we are post equivalent. Saurabh and 5 people went and they never came back. They were caught by the Pakistanis. They were tortured brutally. I would say they were tortured, brutally murdered, you know. Their eyes were removed and fingers were broken, bones were broken. They had some 200 to 250 cigarette butts mark on their body, entire body. Teeth were broken. Imagine a soldier. And as per the Geneva Pact, there is an agreement between this thing that if I am caught as a prisoner of war, I have to be treated with due dignity, right? I have to be treated like a soldier. So when India had, later when Pakistanis abandoned their people, so India gave that, their cremation and all in a proper military way to the Pakistani soldiers, which Pakistan never, they refused to accept their bodies, but Indian soldiers gave that, respect to that soldier. That is what is Geneva Convention. So Saurabh and his men never came back. And then we sent the second team, Captain Amit Bharadwaj and 21 other people. When Captain Amit went there, he realized there is no terrorist or something. There are some 500, 600, a battalion of Pakistani army there. Right? And Amit and one of his junior men, उन्होंने उनके बाकी 20 soldiers को बोले आप पीछे चले जाओ, go back to unit and get reinforcement. मैं यहाँ पे लड़ूंगा. Imagine 2% fighting 500 people. 500. So Amit fought for close to good number of hours, and then both Amit and his buddy got martyred. And his body came after 56 days. We got his body after 56 days from that place. Now, when this happened, that is the time we realized that this is not a simple war. This is not a simple holding inside. That is the time Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the 3 chiefs declared a war, saying that पहली गोली आपने चलाई थी, आखिरी गोली कब चलेगी हम डिसाइड करेंगे. That is how we got into full role. So 3 services chiefs and the defense minister, they met, and it was decided to name this operation as Operation Bijay. Okay. Navy की तरफ से it would be Operation Talwar, and Air Force की तरफ से it would be Operation Safed Sagar, under the umbrella of Operation Bijay. Okay. Now war जहाँ पर हुआ, it is of various sectors. उसमें Kargil was the prominent sector. Like Mumbai, Pune, Lonavala, Khandala, जो भी होगा. If war is happening at Pune, it will be called Pune war. सब लोग को भूल जाएंगे कि मुंबई में भी हुआ था, खंडाला में, लोनावाला में हुआ था, जबकि सब जगह हो रहा था. But prominent features were happening in Kargil. And thanks to the media and the 𝘱𝑒𝑦𝑑𝑒𝑚 and all, they were there live casting that war, televised, first war in the history. It was to be televised, and it came as Kargil war, Kargil war, Kargil war, right? And that is how it became Kargil war. So very funnily, lot of people asked me कि आप तो नेवी में थे तो कारगिल वॉर का मेडल कैसे पहनते, शिप कारगिल में कैसे पहुंचते. This is the knowledge which people possess, and that is why we are here to burst that myth and to tell you that Army, Navy, Air Force participated in this entire thing. Right? And that is what is the significance of Operation Talwar. So when Operation Talwar happened, Navy was the first one to say yes for the war. Out of Army, Navy, Air Force. Army, obviously, Army never had a choice. We had to defend. And Admiral Sushil Kumar, who was the naval chief, he said, we will go full flow, whether you like it or not. So every year there is two exercises which Navy conducts, Summer X and Spring X. And that was the time when Summer X was happening. And naval ships were deployed, close to 33 warships in full capacity. That is, when I say full capacity, with missiles loaded, with all the ammunition, with everything ready, with submarines, with marine commandos, with all the with the naval aircraft. We were in that place where off Karachi जिसको बोलते हैं मकाम पोर्ट और कराची पोर्ट जहाँ पर है, we were there 33 ships fully loaded, and we announced to the world that we are here, we are here, and we will attack Pakistan anytime. Lot of intervention. US got scared and everyone got scared. Pakistan was never prepared. They never thought that Indian Navy will play a offensive role. Last offensive role we played was in 1971, when we burned Karachi. 1965 we were a defensive force. In 1971 we showed who we are, Navy, the naval power. In 1999 it was going to be doubled. Pakistan realized that, and they ordered all their ships and submarines to vanish. When I say vanish, बोला कि भाग जाओ, okay? You don't come out of the port, and that is how you will be safe. So this happened, and I was part of one of those ships out of those 33 ships. Pretty accidentally or coincidentally, you can say, because I had come out of academy, we had a training to be undergone, and that training was postponed, and we went. Uh, Other trainings were postponed, and our ship training got preponed. And then I went into a killer class of ship called P-44, 𝘱𝘭𝘠, the ship which we gave to Vietnam very recently.
Yes.
That was my ship, and we were the first four ships who were supposed to attack Pakistan in case the war broke full-fledged. So we were there at Okha for 40 days, close to 30-40 days, in and out of Okha. Okha was like 24 nautical miles from Karachi. You could actually see the tips and the silhouette of Karachi from Okha, in a prominent place. We were very ready. We were waiting for the political orders to attack Karachi. And see, war is not the solution. We go 20 years back if war happened. But then, as a Fauji, we are always, our role is only, of course, we have a lot of strategic and defensive role, but the main aim, if anyone asks me what is the role of armed forces, it is to kill, whether you like it or not. It is war. We wear uniform to fight a war. In that bargain, we do defensive strategies, we do all those things, right? So that's how people should know it's called Operation Talwar, and anybody and everybody who were part of Operation Vijay wears the Vijay Star medal. That is prominently known as Kargil War medal. So this is the myth, this is the awareness which has to come to everyone, that Kargil War, definitely, though, we lost 547 soldiers and officers, and close to 1,000 plus were injured. That is a sacrifice, and trust me, the average age of people who fought was 23 and 24. Imagine a passing out, like an engineering pass out, 8th semester pass out. I was 22 years old when I went into war. That was the significance of war. Captain Vikram Batra was 1 year senior to me, so he was 24 and a half. Manoj Pandey was 24 and a half. Both Paramveer Chakra. Yogendra Yadav, who is the honorary captain now, he was 19 years old. And Sanjay Kumar was 23 years old. All four Paramveer Chakras of Kargil War. So imagine the war was fought by the 23 and 24 years old. That is the power of the armed forces, which trains a youth who are nowhere. When we do our engineering, we are nowhere. We may have a degree, that too we may not be technically strong, it's more of a paper degree, more or less. So imagine molding a youth into a warrior. That is what the academy does.
Yes.
And that is what is the entire background of Kargil War.
Great, sir. Thank you very much for the information. And because of your information, now all the myths are cleared. And now definitely people will get the information of that Kargil war that they know about through the medium of this interview. So thank you very much for the information. And also, sir, talking about, I think you served on INS Virat as well, right? So
Yes.
I think if you have some information, अगर आपके पास दो शब्द हो for to say about INS Virat or maybe PNS Ghazi as well, अगर आपके पास कुछ हो तो audience के लिए.
So yeah, going back to PNS Ghazi, that was a 1971 war, which Navy, was fighting. So the significant role of Indian Navy in 1971 was, of course, attacking Karachi and all. That is what you will know. But we had something called Operation Jackpot in 1971, where Indian Navy, a group of Indian naval officers and sailors, they trained Bangladeshi youngsters, there were 400, 500 youngsters between 18 to 23 years of age. They were trained by Indian Navy, Indian naval divers. So they were the people who were trained to be the Bangladeshi commandos. So why 1971 war happened was because of the turmoil between Bangladesh, that is East Pakistan then, and West Pakistan.
Yes.
Okay. Because East Pakistan was predominantly Bengali speaking people, and West Pakistan, as we know, the Punjabi Pakistanis or the Mool Pakistani, what we call it. So they were between West Pakistan and East Pakistan, there was a distance of 1,600 kilometers to India. So they always felt neglected, and West Pakistanis had unleashed a lot of atrocities on the East Pakistan. You will not believe there were lakhs and lakhs of people who were killed, children killed, women raped, and because of, if you read history, road पे ऐसे पड़े होते थे, South and Pakistani soldiers were brutal. So that is why the 1971 war. So a lot of people started running to India. So they are trespassing to the porous border of Bengal and other things. So when they came to India, so as we said, we are a great nation. So Indira Gandhi was the prime minister then. She said, ठीक है, refuge देते हैं आपको. And then बहुत पुराने टाइम से ना पाकिस्तान से हमको थोड़ा लेना था. 1947-48 में they tried their same modus operandi in Kashmir. They wanted Kashmir, and 1947-48 में there is a story there. So India decided to help Bangladesh, covertly and overtly, both. So the covert operation हो रहा था, that was done by Navy. तो Navy के कुछ गिने चुने 20 लोगों ने 500-600 बांग्लादेशी कमांडोज बनाए. These were the young boys who would swim 12 kilometers, 13 kilometers. They would place these limpet mines on the East Pakistani ships and boats and ships. Bangladesh is a riverine country. पूरा अंदर river के network है. करीब 100 boats उड़ाए. By the time war happened, we had already blown hundreds of boats and ships of Pakistan, merchant ships and all. That was the role of Indian Navy called Operation X. Right? तो जब ये हुआ और war full fledged में चल रहा था, there was this class of Pakistani submarines called Mangror, Shikrur, Hangor, or Ghazi was a senior lord also of that. So in order to check Indian Navy, इंडिया के पास एक ही एयरक्राफ्ट था, and that was INS विक्रांत, है ना. विक्रांत को मारने के लिए गाजी was slotted. कि विक्रांत को उड़ा दो तो आधा इंडियन नेवी बैठ जाएगी. And then you will not believe 1965 Pakistan had a stronger navy compared to India. They had a stronger navy. They had submarines. They were US and other countries. UK was supplying ships and submarines to Pakistan. India को नहीं दे रहे थे. That is when 71 में India had an agreement with Russia.
Yes.
And that is when we bought the first 4 class of ship. That 4 ships was never meant to attack. Russia ने उसको attack के लिए नहीं बनाया. But as a country we know that we are a जुगाड़ू country. हमको कुछ भी मिल जाता है, हम जुगाड़ करके उसको लगा देते हैं. तो हमने वो जो 4 शिप रशिया ने हमको ऐसे ही दिया था डिफेंसिव, we made it offensive. That is what Karachi got burnt. Veer class ship and the Kurkulis and Licker Pans. So जब गाजी आया, तो पहले हमने क्या किया, वी क्रिएटेड हेलो, हमने विक्रांत को डमी करके बताया सी में थ्रू आवर आरटी कम्युनिकेशंस एंड ऑल। वी यूज्ड टू गिव फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन अबाउट विक्रांत कि विक्रांत अभी वाइजैक सी में होगा, विक्रांत यहाँ होगा, विक्रांत, and like a fool they caught that communication and they believed that it is there, you know, and that's how the PNS Ghazi came diving, and it was under vigil in the eastern waters, and we knew this, we knew this. So there are two theories which goes. He Anas Rajput had fired a depth charger and they had known that there is a Ghazi's presence here, and Pakistan claims that it exploded itself, you know, which is a wrong theory, which is a wrong theory. So that's how the Ghazi was lured in to come settle there, and finally the grave happened, you know. Uh, but you know, as a soldier, I always respect soldiers. So irrespective of whether it's a Pakistani or this, soldiers are soldiers, you know, but they have to behave like soldiers. That is what is the Ghazi story, and you could see almost 80% of that in the movie, the Ghazi, which
The
was,
Ghazi attack. Yeah.
that is a 60-70% of the account,
Of course,
more of a
yeah.
commercial thing.
Right. It was definitely thrilling and very adventurous to hear about your past stories, sir. But sir, currently, मतलब आज की डेट में आप क्या करते हैं? मतलब like, what is your role currently? मतलब are you still connected to the Indian Navy, or like, what are you doing currently? What are you pursuing currently?
So yeah, post Navy, you know, like I spent 10 years in Navy. Of course, I finished my commission of 10 years. I was a short service commission officer, and had I decided, I could have continued in Navy. But yes, I wanted to explore outside because 10 years में I had seen Navy to the extent which I would have seen. I got decorated. My uniforms are decorated. So then I said, ki, why not? Now, you know, there is only one life, right? So you have seen the first 10 years with Navy. I wanted to explore outside, and my wife was working in Mumbai. She is a professional. Because of me, her career should not have been hampered. So all those things, gender equality, because we are more of a friend than a husband and wife. We knew each other before our marriage and things like that. So when we decided that I have to come out, so I hung my uniform in 2009, and I started searching jobs. So let me tell you, Army Navy Air Force से आप इंजीनियर होंगे तो हो तलवार हो, when you have to come out, you have to come out. You know? Nobody hands you a job कि सर आ जाओ, 1-2 लाख रुपए देते हैं करके on a platter. Nobody does that. You have to prove your mettle, because corporate is all about P&L, profit and loss. You know, वहाँ ठीक है, मैं एक सोल्जर हूँ तो दे विल रेस्पेक्ट मी कि ठीक है फाइन, अगर मैं अगला महीना पैसा कमा के नहीं देता हूँ, दे विल, यू नो, सिंपल, जय हिंद बोलेंगे और रेस्पेक्ट से ही बोलेंगे चलो कर. So you have to upskill yourself, and that goes everywhere in this. So I was working with a equipment manufacturer and as a project director for 1 year. I did really well. And that is when this opportunity came from the National Classification Society. Salaries were not at that point of time. Salaries were okay, you know, not compared to any private sector. But I thought this would bring me again closer to the field which I am, the waters, you know, the Navy, merchant Navy or Indian Navy. And then luckily I got a chance to interact with Navy again and various capacities. And I am currently, I am in the role of Vice President, Associate Vice President. I head one of their compliances unit, industrial unit. And life has been good. No regret both ways. Navy छोड़ने का भी regret नहीं है, और यहाँ आके जॉब करने का भी रिग्रेट नहीं है. That's how you should see life. You know? अगर मैं फास्ट में नहीं रहना चाहता हूँ. I loved my uniform, I loved my job, and I'm connected to Navy. My postmates are doing well, they are senior positions. You know? जितना as a friends we are connected, and I read lot about Navy, Army, Air Force, जितना मुझे चाहिए, and information. So my role as a veteran is to share the information which general people doesn't know about the history of Navy. So futuristic, if you ask me, I would be very reluctant to answer because I'm not supposed to tell as per the protocol. All veterans are henceforth, restrained to talk about the future role of the navies and other things. So my role is to advise and give awareness about the past of the Navy till the time yesterday, till yesterday. So that is what currently I am doing. So I do various other things. I write, I blog. Thanks to Instagram, COVID and all, I was on Instagram. I run. I'm a sports guy. So multiple roles, काफी roles and mentoring, incubation, entrepreneurship, work is what I currently do.
Sir, of course, it was definitely amusing hearing about your love to the nation and how you served the nation into the past, as well as you're doing in the presence, of course. But sir, हमने ये भी सुना है कि you are an eloquent writer as well, as you just mentioned right now that you blog, you write as well. So, like, can you just share something about your best-selling book called #DayInspire?
Okay, so writing, why I became a writer is a story in itself. As I said in the first question, I come from a very small English school wherein, we never used to speak English. It was more of a vernacular setup. It was an English medium, but those days English bolte the, तो you know how it used to happen. Uh, so I was weak in English, to be very frank. Spoken English definitely. Written English ठीक ठाक था, but even today I struggle with grammar. Let me tell you frankly. मेरी daughter मुझे कहीं कहीं point करता है कि यार ये सही नहीं है करके. So but ठीक. So वो जो weakness थी, I always believe I don't sit on my weakness. मुझे लगा ये मेरा weakness है, तो I work very very hard on my weakness to make it as my strength. And that is what exactly happened with English. So uh, you know, I used to read a lot. Even today, as I'm speaking to you, currently I'm reading 3 books. So at any point of time, I'm reading something or the other, all dimensions, right? And when you read a lot, you tend to also become a writer. Your thought process clear. Your viewing and objectives become clear. And when I was in Navy, I started writing छोटे snippets, छोटे blogs, and fortunately for me, few of my articles got published in naval magazines. Naval magazines में article published होना is a very big thing in itself, because नहीं होता है. And when it got published, I got morale boost, and that's when I started blogging from long. And They Inspire is a story about common people. It's a story of, since I'm into a passionate distance runner, it's a story about distance runner, ordinary people, ordinary people, जिसके बारे में कोई नहीं लिखता है. People will write about Sachin Tendulkar, MS Dhoni, because they are great, they are great, no doubt about it. But उनका story we all know. What about the common people? What about both of you, like Athar and Athar? You will be having a story. तुम आज तक यहाँ तक कैसे थे, तो उसकी भी कहानी, हर एक इंसान की कहानी होती है. बोलते हैं ना, जैसे या तो हम में है कहानी या कहानी में हम. So that's a fact. Everyone has a story. So as a writer, a runner, I thought, why not bring stories of people? And I started this blog in 2013 on Facebook. That time Facebook was prominent. And when I started introducing common people to Facebook, that this is a story or her story, people were amazed. Someone who's suffering from cancer, who was not at all a sports person throughout their life, how they got into distance running. That motivated so many people, and every 10 days people used to ask me why my article is not published. And so that was how it began. And then somewhere in 2015, Crossword contacted me, and they said, why don't we do a series on this, a book itself. And that's how the first book happened, which got a October 16 release. And believe me, now more than 5,000, 6,000 copies sold. Even today it is selling. Even today it is out of stock. But as an author, I get privileged to have few copies. Even today, people inquire about that book. And subsequently, I wrote my second book in COVID 2020 में 𝘱𝘐 𝘭𝘰𝘶, which got me the Best Author National Award for the humor segment. And subsequently 5 more anthologies with various other authors. My third full-fledged book is going to come in another 4-5 months. It's more about the Army Navy Air Force humor, because I write humor.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was my writing foray, and as a writer, you always think constantly. As a writer, your mind is always thinking some or the other thing, right? And that's the beauty of being a writer. And I would urge all of the audience who's going to listen, especially students, this is the age when you are in engineering and when you are on the cusp of being a graduate and all, lot of flows will come. So अभी तो बहुत सारे tools है, AI tools है. I don't encourage writing everything through AI. because that would create your creativity, that would kill your creativity. कि
Definitely.
आपको कुछ बोल दिया at the fingertip there is someone who would narrate and talk. कॉलेज के प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह के लिए ठीक है, but for the creativity it is fine. It is damaging, right?
Right.
So you should express your thought. कुछ नहीं तो वॉइस मीडियम से कहीं रिकॉर्ड करके रखो, एआई टूल में कन्वर्ट दैट रिकॉर्डिंग इनटू अ स्क्रिप्ट. दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग कंपेयर टू द एआई, यू नो, ये
The spoon feeding thing.
spoon feeding. So it kills you. It kills you, right? And that is one thing everyone is debating these days about AI taking over and a lot of workshops. Navy has gone so much ahead. We had a symposium a couple of days back, 3 day symposium on AIs and the Navy. So anybody asking me this question, like with the advancement of technology, how the armed forces is coping up. So I always tell, so when people ask me about the future strategic role what Navy should play, or its role, geopolitical role with Indo-China, or Indo-US or Indo-Russia or whatever, I always tell, see, I am a very small person to speak about that, because there is the entire Navy, entire segment, entire section of people working on that. So more than us who ask me question कि इंडो चाइना के बारे में क्या है करके, ठीक है, वी आर वेरी स्मॉल पीपल टू टेल अ नॉलेजेबल थिंग. अच्छा यहाँ ऐसे हो रहा है, नेवी इज डूइंग दिस दैट, बट देयर आर पीपल हु आर अराउंड द क्लॉक वर्किंग ऑन दैट, है ना. सो एआई इज डेफिनेटली इज वन थिंग. जैसे ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी आई थी थोड़ा देर फ्यू इयर्स बैक. सो your armed forces have to evolve compared in line with that. नहीं तो नहीं होगा. We cannot be a satcom technology, what we call the SpaceX technology. Let me tell you, the next war जो होगा ना, it would be more of a SpaceX war. It won't be ठीक है, ट्रेडिशनल वॉर होगा जहाँ पे बॉर्डर है वहाँ पे होगा, बट इट वुड बी मोर ऑफ अ स्पेसएक्स वॉर. इमेजिन योर सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन इक्विपमेंट गेटिंग हैक्ड. Everything is run by your satcom. Even a radar, when we sail, everything. अगर रडार का जो आपने जैम ही कर दिया ऊपर से, तो कहाँ जाएगा जहाज लेके नहीं, है ना. So the next war is going to be a SpaceX war. So you have to be one up than the innovations which is happening. So all the armed forces, Navy, Air Force, Army, Air Force, they are much more strong technological capability. There are people who are thinking 20 years ahead. 20 years ahead. They are the DRDOs and the DRDLs of the world. So हमारा DRDO, they are Indian scientists, are the best scientists in the world. And imagine the think tank, thousands of scientists sitting there and thinking only about that 20 years hence. That is what we are strong. We are a very powerful nation. Couple of weeks back, I travel a lot. I've been abroad. What I used to travel in 2010 and what I am traveling now has got a huge difference. पहले हमारे पासपोर्ट को देख के साइड पे करके 10 बार चेकिंग करते थे कि कहाँ से आ गया करके, ब्राउन स्किन बोल के. आज किसी की जरूरत नहीं है. नाउ व्हेन यू गो, दे नो यू आर अ सुपर पावर, यू आर गोइंग टू बी द नेक्स्ट. जैसे अपने नेशनल एंथम में देयर इज दिस वर्ड ना, भारत भाग्य विधाता.
Yes.
Next 10 years is Bharat Bhagya Vidata. We are the world next 10 years.
Definitely.
As an engineer, when you guys pass out, you are the world. You are the people who will shape this next 10 years, right? At various stages. And that is why coming back to that question about writing. So that is what from there the AI thing which I told about writing, and I connected to how the future Navy or the Army or the Air Force is. So that is the power of writing. So I would urge everyone to take up writing as a hobby. You never know, someday you may end up writing the something like Amish Tripathi or a trilogy or something, और पूरा सीरीज ही बन जाएगा, शुरुआत सीरीज.
Also, sir, हमने सुना है कि आप मैराथन्स वगैरह भी करते थे पहले. So if you would like to share something about your marathon experiences, or if you have a fitness routine currently. So if you would like to share your fitness routine with the audience, along with some small things that you would like to share with the audience as well, especially the youth.
Exactly. So see, the right time. Again, I'll relate to Army, Navy, Air Force. When a youngster joined the Sainik school, he joined at 8th standard, military school, 8th standard, 9th standard, he joined. Then the Remkollian, if someone becomes Remkollian, Rashtriya Military College, वहाँ जाते 10वीं 12वीं के बाद. Then NDA happens after 12 years. So those people who are Fauji's, their acclimatization to physical activities start right from that raw age. Then
Right.
people like us who comes after engineering, 22-23 साल में. So body, trust me, body is amazing. Our body is amazing and there is no age for us to mold our body. The day you realize कि नहीं यार कुछ करना चाहिए, उसी दिन से करो. और अगर आप नहीं करोगे ना, trust me, with the world which we are living, where everything is artificial, there is nothing called organic. In the name of organic also, look, literally, they are feeding you something chemical and other things. There are diseases like thyroid and deficiencies like thyroid and because I am a hypothyroid, that's why I'm saying I take liberty to say that. And there are so many things which will happen. Only preventive action is that life may every day everyone has got 24 hours. नरेंद्र मोदी के पास कितना घंटा है? 24 घंटा, राइट. प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया के पास 24 घंटा है. सचिन तेंदुलकर के पास 24 घंटा, विराट कोहली के पास 24 घंटा, रोनाल्डो के पास 24 घंटा है. तो हम और तुम क्या डिफरेंट हो क्या? नहीं ना. वी हैव ऑल्सो गॉट 24 hours. Agreed, we are busy, all of us are busy with various, we are traveling in traffic, etc. So whenever someone say कि sir time management पे lecture दो, I always say time management is the biggest fake thing in this world. बहुत लोगों ने टाइम ट्रेनिंग के नाम पे ना टाइम मैनेजमेंट बोल के बहुत पैसा कमाया लोगों ने ना. There is nothing called time management. Believe me, underline this word. There is nothing called time management. It is only managing yourself in the available time. Managing yourself in the available time. That is how you manage. If you sleep for 10 hours, you have already lost 10 hours in that 24 hours. So if you happen to see reels sitting 3 hours, you have lost another 3 hours. 13 hours in that 24 hours is gone. So your sleep pattern has to be such that 6 घंटा 7 घंटा is the ideal sleep. Anything above that, you are wasting your time. So I tell everyone that if you don't find time to work out, 20 minutes of pure time for workout. I don't say you have to run like a distance running or a gym जाओ. कुछ भी करो 20 minutes which will uplift you, which will give you that endorphin. And you have to be selfish every day for that 20 minutes. Forget your parents, forget your wife, forget your kids, forget your girlfriend, forget your friends. 20 minutes has to be yourself. And if you don't spend that 20 minutes to yourself, you are losing on something big, something. And that is when where the fitness comes, right? And I realized fitness at a later age. When I was in Naval Academy, तो compulsory होता था, there was no choice.
Right.
And अगर सब कुछ अगर किसी ने compulsory किया तो you won't enjoy. So you should enjoy also. When I came out of Navy, I was 107 kgs, detected with a bad thyroid, hypothyroid. And that is how the distance running started. I started loving running. I started paying for the events. Marathon में जाते तो पैसा देना पड़ता है, जबकि नेवी में सब फ्री कराता था. You only realize the importance of things when it affects you. For me, it affected my health wise. So that is the primary reason which keeps me motivated even today. I'm a hypothyroid. If I stop, I gain weight. My thyroid goes for a toss. Probably it is a God's way of telling कि भैया भागो करके, you need to be fit, right? So yeah, so that journey has given me a lot. Thanks to, had I cried कि मेरे को thyroid हुआ, तो शायद मैं मर जाता negativity के चक्कर में. That thyroidism helped me to run. That thyroidism, being a runner, I wrote about runners. That helped me to become an author. My second book on running fetched me the award, the national level award. And see, because of that one negative aspect, कि ऐसे हो गया, you have to find opportunity into everything which puts you back. And yeah, today I am an ultra distance runner. Ultra distance runner is anything who runs more than 50, 60 kilometers. So I run 90 kilometers now for the event. So twice I have done, represented Indian contingent Comrades Marathon in 2019 and last month in 2023 June. We have to cover 90 kilometers in 12 hours in South Africa, that too in a very hilly terrain. So I completed both the time, 2019 and last month, 23. So body is amazing. That is what is my message. Body is amazing. Till the time you are fit, you are thin, that is the time you should actually invest in this. नहीं तो कल को क्या होगा, कुछ मेजर बीमारी हो गया, wherein you cannot come back from that, and that's a why that बीमारी will happen is because of the periodic toxicity you give to your body. Correct? And ये सब से बचने के लिए invest that 20 minutes every day, either in yoga, running, cycling, swimming, whatever you do. So that is what my message to the youth is. This is the right time because at this age we think we are immortal. हम अश्वत्थामा है, हमें कुछ नहीं होगा. मैं दारू पीऊंगा, मैं सिगरेट पीऊंगा, मैं लेट उठूंगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा. Will be worried, will be surprised to know the fact post-COVID, more and more youngsters are succumbing to heart attacks and other things. Right? High time. लोग बोलते हैं कि सर रनिंग करते भी तो लोग मर जाते, बट जो नहीं रन करते उसमें 99% वो मरते हैं ना. रन में 1% मरता है. That's part of it. So yeah, so that's my message.
Yes. Thank you very much for the message, and I must say that it was really thrilling and amazing for hearing your life experiences of what you have gone through and how have you served the nation. And with that, I really must say that you are a true hero for this nation, or I must say to the world you are a true hero, because as you mentioned that you read, you write as well, and also you have served the nation, of course. And along with that, as you mentioned that you sponsor, I think 5 kids per year, right? As a
Yeah,
trust.
that's right.
Yeah, and of course you are a true hardworking hero for the Indian youth especially, and I must really say, and I really thank you so much to you for taking out your precious time on this occasion of Independence Day for your EPC VIT Pune for giving your time for this precious interview of yours.
So yeah, thank you so much to your college for inviting, and to both of you for conducting and hosting this. By hosting this, you get an experience. Life is all about experiences. I always believe in learning, so I learn from a lot of young people who are connected to me. And to all the audience who will hear this, or whoever are hearing, or who will be hearing this, please don't take this. I am just a medium, मैं hero या ऐसे कुछ नहीं. ये एक माध्यम है life का. Each one of us will go through similar phases. Nobody is hero by wearing a uniform. Uniform, we are closer by wearing uniform. We are closer to serving the nation, but it doesn't mean कि जो uniform नहीं पहनते वो नहीं करते. They may be serving much more, for the economy of this country. So be nationalistic, whether you like it or not. अपने country में रह के अपने country को गाली देना जायज़ नहीं है. You may abuse politician and all. I also abuse, but you can't abuse the nation. And nation is the greatest nation. And if somebody calls you nationalistic, be a proud nationalist. Wherever you go, nobody stops you from going abroad and studying and serving there. But don't blame our country. वहाँ जाके you may go to US, UK. Many of you may go because and you should go also, explore करो world को. But वहाँ जाके ही अपने country को गाली मत दो. Because this country is the greatest country in the world. Whether you like it or not, whether you read our rich history, there is no country in this world other than India. Okay, we are populated, we are, whatever, we have our drawbacks, but trust me, as I said, as I will end this talk also with that, is Bharata Bhagya Vidata. Remember this line, and 10 years is the 10 years for us, irrespective of anything. And be the change. If you want to see a change, be the change, right? So wishing you all the best, and Jai Hind on this occasion of pre-Independence Day as we speak today. I'm sure a lot of you are going to contribute in much bigger way.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, and Jai Hind.